Have you ever left a meeting with great ideas still stuck in your head because you were afraid to speak up in the meeting? And if you're nodding and you're saying, yes, that was me, then you're not alone. And you know that you're not alone, but it's costing you. And it's costing your team in creativity and in innovation. Look, fear of judgment or rejection can silence even the smartest of people. Fear doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care that you're older and wiser or you're young and vibrant. It doesn't care that you're beautiful. Fear will take hold of everyone, especially if you haven't learned to face your fears and to overcome them more quickly. And most of the time, this is really about the inner work that you need to do. Because in these situations, this is about you not thinking that other people will think that your question or your comment was a good question or a good comment. But what's a good question or a good comment? My idea of a good question or a good comment is anything that moves the collective closer to the goal. Don't worry about people's judgment, because usually the biggest judgment that you have to overcome is the judgment that you place on yourself. You have to be more kinder to yourself. The world is going to beat you up enough. You have to be more kinder to yourself and understanding that you are learning and you're growing and you're experimenting. So your question is part of your experiment in this life to get answers that help you get closer to the goal. It's not about the other person. It's all about you. And I'll tell you, teams lose performance when diverse voices don't get heard. When your voice is not heard, the team is losing performance because they're losing the potential of the idea that you had. Our ideas are like seeds. Not every seed will sprout. Not every seed is going to take root. But when they do, it's beautiful. But when you only hear one voice or only a few voices, that can become discouraging and counterproductive for people. I'm sure many of you can resonate with the example where you have the strong personality that always speaks up in the meeting and never gives anybody else an opportunity to provide any input. Some people love it. Some people think that this creates competition. Some people think that this allows them to just relax because the other person will come up with all the ideas. But I'm a firm believer that collaboration is way more powerful than competition. Confidence grows when the leaders create safety in a workplace and in these types of environments. But it also grows when you have the courage, when the individual has and develops the courage to speak up anyway, and not rely on the outspoken person or the supervisor to chart the path for you. Because people will relinquish their creative spirit by allowing someone else to chart the path for them, but then become upset at the decision. I've led teams where folks will say to me, "Oh, we want to provide input. I'm very collaborative," and they'll say, "Oh, we want more ideas." But when you give some people an opportunity to bring their ideas, they freeze up for a number of reasons. Sometimes they freeze up because, "Oh, you called my bluff. You actually gave me the floor. Yes, take it." Because I believe that any stage that's mine is mine. It can't be taken. I'm not worried about that. I want everybody to have an opportunity to grow. And so as a leader, it is my responsibility to facilitate the environment so that everybody can grow. When I see the person sitting in the corner not speaking, I'm going to engage them to help them be part of the discussion, because I believe that their voice is valuable. When I see the person that is over talking the other person and the other person hasn't developed the courage and the confidence to stop them in that moment, perhaps because of their tenure, perhaps because they might be more timid. They could be dealing with a whole host of things emotionally and or mentally. But when I see those things, it's my responsibility as a leader to help the less assertive person to get in the game. And I understand that not everybody is going to be assertive, but if the culture of the organization requires that you get in the game and is assertive, and you just so happen to, as a leader, have someone on your team that isn't assertive, then you and everyone on the team should be helping to develop that person's assertiveness, especially for those that consider themselves to be leaders. Now, I'm not saying that this is all on the leader, because you have to believe that your voice is valuable. You do. If you don't see your value, no one else will. And you have to be willing to share that voice and to bring that value to life. Nobody's going to do that for you but you. You will have people and leaders in your life that will create the space for you to flourish, that will create the environment for you to flourish when you don't have the strength to do it yourself. But you have to be open and you have to take action. And so here's what I want you to do. If you are someone that is challenged with not speaking up because of fear, not speaking up because you're tired of repeating yourself, whatever your reason, in the next meeting, I want you to commit to sharing at least one idea or perspective, even if it's not perfect. We're not going for perfection here. We need to be kinder to ourselves. We need to start somewhere. And progress starts when your voice is in the room. You need to be in the room.